529 dengue cases were reported last week as Singapore entered its traditional peak dengue season. That's a jump from the first 4 months of the year, which saw about 300 to 400 weekly cases. Large clusters also persisted in areas like Whitley and Jurong West, even though about 84% of the 821 dengue clusters notified this year have been closed.
Now for more, we're joined by medical entomologist Christina Liew from the National Environment Agency and Nanyang Technological University. Prof, thanks very much for joining us this Friday evening. Now, we've seen a spike in dengue cases over the past 2 weeks. Let's talk about some of the reasons for that, because we are in a circuit breaker and non-essential services have stopped and more people are working from home. Is there some kind of correlation that we're seeing?
Hello, hi John, hi Glenda. Thank you very much for having me on your program. So yes, it is true. With more people staying at home during this period, this circuit breaker period, there could be a higher risk of transmission of dengue in homes, especially in housing estates, in areas where there are more Aedes mosquitoes around. And also, the Aedes mosquito is actually a vector that bites during the daytime. So she's around with us in our homes. And if we're around at home, then there is a higher chance of us being bitten if we don't do anything to get rid of mosquito breeding habitats or get rid of Aedes mosquitoes in our homes, the adults.
So, Prof, we're also seeing more cases of dengue virus serotype 3, which, as I know, is a shift from the predominant serotype 2. What does this mean exactly, and how does this impact Singapore's efforts then to combat dengue?
Well, Glinda, we actually have 4 serotypes of dengue in Singapore, and they're circulating all the time. And at any one time, you do get one serotype that could be more dominant than another. So we have seen an increase in the number of cases of this dengue 3 serotype. And this is worrying for us because we haven't seen an outbreak in Singapore with a dengue 3 serotype in over 30 years. So because of this increase that we're seeing, we're a little worried that our population has very low immunity to the serotype, and therefore we have to really step up our mosquito control efforts.
Now, Prof,
we haven't seen. Yes.
No, go on, please.
Yes. So I was saying we're seeing a lot of dengue 2 and a lot of dengue 3 cases at the moment. There isn't one that is predominant to the other right now, but because of this increase in dengue 3 cases, we do have to be more vigilant. It doesn't impact us in the way we actually do vector control or mosquito control, because we still have to get rid of mosquitoes, whatever it is. But it just means that our population has lower immunity to this new serotype that we're seeing an increase in cases of.
It's just talking about vector control that you mentioned there. We know that inspections are being stepped up. Do we see a corresponding rooting out of more mosquito breeding grounds as a result of this? And give us a sense of where the majority of these breeding grounds are found.
Well, actually, we still see that the majority of breeding habitats, mosquito breeding habitats, are found in homes. And we've seen a 50% increase in the number of mosquito larval breeding habitats found in homes over the past 3 years compared to in the preceding 3 years. So it does mean that most mosquito breeding is still found in homes, yes. And we actually all have to do something about what we are seeing in our homes.
So, Prof, you mentioned that it's found in homes. So aside from the usual spots, like we have to be mindful of vases, pails, flower pots, are there other surprising areas at home that could be potential breeding grounds that we are not aware of? Can we do anything to eradicate if we suspect that there are mosquitoes breeding in the house? What can we do?
Yes, so you're right, Glenda. There are some funny breeding habitats that we do sometimes find. And we found mosquito breeding in dish rack trays, in toilet brush holders, in toothbrush holders as well, in planter boxes and in fish tanks. And what we need to do really is not to be complacent and to realize that every single receptacle that could possibly hold stagnant water could become a mosquito breeding habitat. And as you know, you only need water about the size in volume of a 20-cent coin to allow Aedes mosquitoes to breed in. So what we need to do really is to step up our vigilance and check every corner of our home. The other thing we could do is look for actual adult mosquitoes. So apart from looking for mosquito breeding, we have to be more vigilant. We're at home all the time now, so we have more opportunities to look for adult mosquitoes. And if we do notice more mosquitoes or we feel that we're being bitten, we should spray aerosol insecticide in dark corners of our homes where these adult mosquitoes hide. So these kind of areas would be like behind your sofa, behind the curtains, in your wardrobes, and in the toilet, in dark, cool places like your toilet. So we really need to just look around our homes and see where we think we know the mosquitoes are hiding.
Thank you so much, Prof, for speaking to us. We've been speaking with a medical entomologist, Christina Liew, from the National Environment Agency and Nanyang Technological University.